the EPS spectrum, what you could expect out of the NO. Now you know that oxygen is so necessary for our survival. On the other hand, NO gas, NO, you know, we did not understand NO since long, though NO was discovered long back. And people did not understand what is NO. They are around 60s, 1960s I'm talking about. Around 60s, that means 80 years back, first time it was considered to be one of the suspect molecules. Suspect in the sense the electronic structures of NO was not known. Only that time it used to consider as a poisonous gas, colorless poisonous gas. And it's true. If you inhale NO, we cannot sustain. We'll be dying. Okay. But remember that NO is such an important biological molecule in a ppm level. If you have more amount, then it will cause harm to you, to death even. But if you take, in biology generates NO through a lot of metabolic processes, and that NO actually helps us to breathe. Breathe in the sense our blood pressure, everything is controlled by NO, and also all the neurosignaling processes which are being guided through the NO. It's such an important molecule. Without NO in our system, we cannot sustain through our biological processes. But this NO is having one unpaired electron. You see the 3 + 4, 7. So naturally one unpaired electron, and it is there, and that's why it's a radical. Now remember that NO is a very unique radical. It's a neutral radical, where it does not require to inject one electron, as I said in the previous slide, or to pull out one electron to make it a radical. It's a natural radical. So it is not plus cationic, it is neither cationic nor anionic. So it is one of the radical molecules which is neutral in nature. Okay, very interesting molecule. So this could be studied by EPR. This could be studied by EPR. And as such, from the, NO or oxygen, EPR is not very interesting. But if it interacts with the metal, then it becomes extremely complicated and interesting. We will talk about it in due course. Okay. Now you see that one reaction scheme I have shown over here from the simple organic point of view. Those who understand or who likes organic chemistry too much, for them is nothing. But from EPR point of view, there are a lot of points over here. Let us discuss this issue. You start with this particular molecule, very well-known molecule, readily available commercially, and it's called 3,6-diamino-1,4-dihydroxy 3,6-diamino-1,4-dihydroxybenzene. Now you add little bit base, say NET3 or sodium hydroxide, then 4 H plus would be liberated, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will look like this. It's a highly electronically rich molecule, where you could see there are 4 anion is there. Okay, and it's not very stable molecule. And then what will happen if you allow this molecule to lose its electrons in a successive fashion? It does not happen always. It loses the 4 electrons immediately to reach to a stable form. But we can examine these molecules from the broader perspective of EPR spectroscopy, that if we allow this, if we record the electrochemistry of this molecule, which I'm not going to talk about over here, but we can do the electrochemistry of this molecule, and then we will see it undergoes successive oxidations and reduction. In this case, it is oxidation processes. Okay, and if you start from here, that will be the reduction processes. Okay, and you could see the plus sign here, and you could see the minus sign over here. That means this side is the oxidation, that side is the reduction. It's a reversible process. So it's a very challenging molecule. Now the first electron, if you oxidize this, it could leave from oxygen and from nitrogen, or from nitrogen, because both are electronically rich center, but it would certainly leave from nitrogen instead of oxygen, because it is nitrogen is more basic. So you will have a nitrogen radical over here, right? And then if you allow the one more electron to leave, that means one more oxidation, you will be getting one diradical. Both are on the nitrogen side, and then it will have its resonating form. Okay, and if you look at the resonating form, it's electronically just rebalancing over here, and there is no unpaired spin over here, so it passes through the one radical. Without EPR, you cannot write down the way it has been written over here. That is the strength of the EPR technique. And remember, though it is a strength, but it requires a lot of expertise and challenges to trap this intermediate radical, which is very reactive and immediately gets converted to this position. So you have to have a technique, and that technique, you have to have a technique and by which you can trap the radical quickly and record it at a very low temperature, say 4K temperature. Similarly, if you allow the third electron to move on, naturally this nitrogen cannot be reduced fast, oxidized, so one of the oxygen would be oxidized, and then the fourth electron, that means total 4 electron transfer, you will have the 2 radicals over here, and then it can give you the resonating structure like this, but it's a biradical. So what are you getting? You are getting one nitrogen radical over here, you are getting one oxygen based radical over here, and here you are getting one diradical species. This is stable diradical. Okay, and interestingly, you will see later on when we will talk about it, the EPR profile of this radical, which is essentially localized on the nitrogen center, and the EPR profile of this intermediate, that means after third electron oxidation, where the radical is localized on the oxygen center, the EPR profile would be completely different between these two. So you can diagonalize very, very easily if you can record their EPR in a very professional fashion, and you can tell, yes, this corresponds to this nitrogen one, and this corresponds to this oxygen one. And moreover, once you record the EPR of this one, that feature would be absolutely different compared to the other two. So you can essentially diagonalize, you can essentially recognize that which EPR corresponds to what. Okay, first of all, you have to understand that theoretically what kind of EPR you should expect out of these 3 paramagnetic molecules, and then you see that what kind of spectrum you are actually getting out of the instrument, and you will be seeing all are absolutely it is matching so nicely. So that